What up, YouTube? Welcome to the Truther Show, where if we see something, we say something. I'm your host, David Chase Taylor, and I'm reporting live from Zurich, Switzerland, where I've applied for asylum since the release of my book, The Nuclear Bible. The book is basically exposing a false flag nuclear terror attack upon the United States that will be blamed on Pakistan. You can go download that today at nuclearbible.com. Okay, so as you know, this is a show strictly dedicated to exposing and stopping false flag terrorism. We're not in the business of predicting terror attacks. We're just providing a false flag report on all the background, the dates, the drills, the exercises, the news and information about certain events that may be targeted. This is all the info that Alex Jones, Webster Tarpley, Mark Dice, all these people conveniently don't cover. So before we get into this week's show on football and false flag terrorism, we're going to take a look at the fallout from last week's show where we talked about the Times Square in New York City and New Year's Eve. Let's see, all the information that I'm talking about right now, you can log on to truther.org and you can check it out. So last week we had a false flag terror prediction report, and we basically stated that Times Square was blinking red on a number of levels and that it may be targeted for a false flag terror attack. So this is the fallout. On New Year's Eve, an ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms agent was executed by a retired NYPD officer in Long Island. His name was John Capano, and he was an explosives expert. And at the same time, on the same day, U.S. Army Sergeant Trey Scott Atwater was arrested in Midland Airport, Texas, for bringing explosives through the airport, military-grade explosives, and he is a demolition expert. And just a week before, on December 22nd, he had a major breach of security at Newark Airport in New Jersey. So how did these events tie together? Well, we don't know for sure, and probably never know, but basically on the same day you have, as New Year's Eve, as what was going to happen in New York, what we predicted could happen, a false flag attack, you have an ATF agent being executed, and you have explosives being confiscated. So is there any tie-in together? We don't know, but like I said, you guys can check out the information. Just go to truther.org and go under New Year's Eve, Times Square tab, and you can check out the information for yourself. But we like to think that maybe the information that you and everybody else helped get out had some positive effect on making sure there's nothing going on. Okay, so this week we're going to be focusing on the BCS championship game in New Orleans. And this is like the college BCS NCAA. It's kind of like the Super Bowl. And as many people know, if you go to nuclearbible.com, you can check out the whole nuclear terror plot that was subverted at the Super Bowl. So we know that they are targeting high-profile events that are on television. So in looking at the BCS game, a couple things automatically draw red flags. Like I said before, this is not a prediction. We're just providing a report, the data, the details on events that are coming up, and you guys can make up your own mind. But basically, you have a partnership between the NCAA and DHS. There was a Super Bowl, the Superdome in New Orleans was just recently remodeled by a company called AECOM, A-E-C-O-M, a multinational, and they basically just received a huge contract from the U.S. government for $907 million for demolitions. We don't know if that's going to be the Superdome, but there's been a major drill for rescuing in a building collapse. We don't know if that has anything to do with what's going to happen, but and also this company was built in bunkers inside the Superdome, and a bunker is basically a hardened shelter, often buried or partly underground. It's designed to protect the inhabitants from falling bombs or other attacks. Excuse me. That's my cat, Nikki. Okay. So then we have this thing called Project Exodus, and this is basically a government-sponsored militia of 200 men, and they are basically being trained down in Louisiana, and it, quote, consists of, quote, a mostly white group of ex-police volunteers with a 50 caliber machine gun. And basically what they say, you can read up on it here, but basically they say that terrorists are homegrown terrorists and are in Louisiana, and basically that they're going to strike. So we don't know if this is what could be at play here. Then we look at the drills that are going on. Major bioterror drills and structural collapse drills going on. So make of it what you will, but these bioterror drills are up for 22,000 people, and the Superdome capacity crowd is only 76,468, so it's about a third. And then you have a lot of drills that are involving airplanes. So maybe we're looking at like a 9/11 style attack if it happens. And then you have this major ignored terror warning that I guess the New Orleans Police Department, the FBI, and DHS all ignored. And basically stating that, you know, the New Orleans Police Department and everybody down there is not paying attention to terror-related events. And then, of course, we have our bioterror patsies. We have the dirty bombs that went missing, the nuclear bombs that went missing, and all the warnings that are coming from Lone Wolves and Big Bang and Bob warnings that are being found all over the country. So we just want you to take a look at it and you know, make up your own mind. Okay, so this is basically the main thing that's happening next week. Another thing that's happening is Tim Tebow. Okay, this guy has been built up as a Christian superhero, and there's been some disturbing articles coming out about these Islamic guys that basically support Tim Tebow, and I believe that he's being set up to take a fall. If you know anything about football, defenses were playing different in the fourth quarter than they were during the regular part of the game, the first three quarters, and allowed this guy to make these historic, like 6 or 7 comebacks, and which basically made him like an overnight sensation. And he was praying on the field, and they call it Tebowing. And basically this guy's been built up majorly over the last few months. And if just think about this for 1 second, if somebody attacked Tim Tebow or killed Tim Tebow and it was like a Muslim guy, it would seriously enrage the Christian world. And basically everyone's saying that he's gonna maybe run for politics, and you have politicians in the Republican primaries referring to him. And this guy's like been built up so huge, and he has a playoff game coming up, and Pittsburgh is involved in this game, and Pittsburgh was also a team that was involved in the Super Bowl of last year in Dallas. That's in the nuclear Bible. So we don't know. We're just drawing red flags. We just see red flags and we talk about them. We're not saying it's going to happen. We're just saying, hey, this is a possibility, and what better false flag to enrage Christians to support the Zionist wars on terror and everything like that. So like I said, it's just a possibility. We also have all the Denver terror drills that are going on, and you have John Elway has already worked with Homeland Security in a video called The 8 Signs of Terrorism. So we're just throwing it out there. I know it sounds a little off the wall maybe, but okay. And then we have the NFL playoffs coming up right now. So just taking a look at that, you basically have in the NFL, aside from the Super Bowl situation that we talked about already, Roger Goodell is basically married to Jane Skinner, whose father, Sam Skinner, was the Secretary of Transportation under Bush Sr. And you have this new NFL logo. It's basically got 4 and 4 stars representing Barack Obama, 44. You have another partnership between DHS and the NFL. The NFL is exempt to terrorism lawsuits. And there's already been a number of plots involving dirty bombs and NFL stadiums. And you have different terror drills occurring at NFL stadiums all the time. So we're just drawing red flags on it, and we're just saying, hey, check this out. All this information, like I said, is at truther.org. You can go through there, research it yourself. But just be on the lookout. We have the BCS game, Tim Tebow, and the NFL playoffs, so check that out. Okay, so if you appreciate the information, and this video is just basically, I'm just skimming the very top of these topics. It's all in depth. We have all the articles, all the links on truther.org. If you appreciate this, just like the video and subscribe to us on YouTube. Next week we're going to be investigating the NDAA and Operation Endgame, not the Alex Jones film, but the real Operation Endgame, which is pretty scary. If you want to Google that, it's pretty creepy. And then we're going to be looking at 2011, which is basically the year of the assassination. We're going to go through and look at all the political people and events all surrounding assassination, what that means for Barack Obama. Coming up in 2012. Let's see. So we know we know that Obama needs a false flag to stay in office between now and November 6th, and we're just here, and this show is dedicated to make sure that that never happens. This is the only show in the world like this, and with your help, hopefully we can make a difference in stopping false flags. And lastly, like I mentioned earlier, I've applied for asylum here in Switzerland since the release of my book, The Nuclear Bible. And you can go to davidchasetaylor.com and you can check out the information there. And if you want to help out digitally, financially, or time-wise, it would be greatly appreciated. Lastly, just check out our other websites, obviously truther.org, nuclearbible.com, and obamacsi.com, exposing the false flag assassination of Barack Obama by the Israeli Mossad. Thanks again. Peace.